Hello everybody. I'm making this video for Harry. Harry put a comment up about paratyphoid and how you should kill all your pigeons. My reply was, Harry, you are so wrong. Harry commented back again, and he said that's what he was told. And I don't doubt it. Harry talked about rodents getting in the coop and eggs not hatching and pigeons being sick, that you were just better off killing all the birds, cleaning up the coop, and doing away with the problem. Well, I'm going to tell you about my experience with paratyphoid. I came home from work one day and was going to let the birds out, and the birds had been flying for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. They were in terrific health. But when I walked into the coop, there was diarrhea all over the place and a very, very foul smell. That foul smell told me it was a bacterial infection. When you get paramyxovirus, for example, you don't get a foul smell. So anyway, I really didn't know what to do at the time. I was a puppy. So I called a few friends. They came and looked at the birds and told me exactly what Harry had said. You got paratyphoid, you have to kill all the pigeons. And I said to them, if I do that, I got to start all over again. I got pigeons 2 and 3 years old here. I'm not going to do that. What I did do, because the birds had bad diarrhea, I put them on brewer's yeast so that they would get some B vitamins and plenty of water, because they were drinking like crazy. Let me give you an example of what it was like in that loft. I had a clay nest bowl, and when I went in there, that nest bowl was filled to the rim with water, diarrhea. I dumped it out, I cleaned it, I put it back, I cleaned the whole loft, I fed the birds with a lot of brewer's yeast, a ton of brewer's yeast, all over the feed with a little bit of oil. I did have to kill a lot of young ones. They had a vertigo, which some strains of bacteria of paratyphoid cause. Their heads cocked, they go around. It would almost be like they had paramyxovirus, but it wasn't the virus. This was long before the virus had hit the United States. So I destroyed all the young ones, and I did have to destroy several old birds because they were spinning and falling over. They had bad vertigo. I did have one Scion hen, a silver hen. Her head was kind of cocked to the side like that. I didn't kill her because she could eat. She was eating. About 4 days later, everything dried up. I had no more problems with the pigeons. My concern was, how am I going to train them? How are they going to fly? After another couple days, I let the birds out. and they flew for about 45 minutes. I kept them on the brewer's yeast, no antibiotics, just brewer's yeast. And the birds slowly recovered. They got back to flying an hour and a half, 2 hours. I read the Whitney book, and Whitney, in his book, pointed out how often paratyphoid was misdiagnosed. So he found 2 birds that definitely tested positive for paratyphoid. He bred out of them 2 pigeons. They were hen and cock. And the young ones had no trace of paratyphoid. They were fine. They were just fine. That's the experience I had with paratyphoid. I also want to tell you that silver hen took 2 years for her head to straighten out. When it did, I trained her and I raced her. I got a 2nd place in a 500-mile race that I probably should have won. I wasn't there to clock the birds. Somebody else clocked them. He wasn't in the yard when the bird arrived home. What more can I tell you about paratyphoid? You can cure it with antibiotics. The antibiotic I liked at the time was galliamycin. It was a good antibiotic, a general antibiotic. So if you come down with paratyphoid, it can be devastating. I also want to point out, in the Whitney book, he points out that there's like 100 strains of paratyphoid, all affecting the pigeons differently. The most dangerous type of paratyphoid was the John Jones strain. It killed many pigeons and many doves. So depending on what type of paratyphoid your pigeons have, you can cure it, you can race it. You can race your pigeons, rather. I also want to tell you, those very pigeons that were sick bred beautiful young ones, no sign of paratyphoid, and they raced very, very well. So I guess that's it, Harry. Be concerned about paratyphoid. Find out what strain you got. Get a hold of a copy of the Whitney book. That particular book will help pigeon flyers enormously. There are so many theories that are incorrect. One example of that is that pigeons sharpen their beaks with grit. That's not true. They consume grit. They need the salts. They need the minerals in the grit. And they feed that to their babies so they grow well. Okay, Harry, I hope this helps you out. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.